Yusuf Cawthon, aka J Super God, known for battle rap media and the face of the Steelers Nation. The face of the Steelers Nation across the nation, especially when it comes to the NFL draft. I'm always here live for a few decades. I'm here. I'm back. It's day two. Gave it a live yesterday. Blogged on it. This is day two. Day two of the NFL draft, 2024 NFL draft in Detroit, Michigan. It's going down. I'm in my George Pickens jersey. Whew, okay. It wasn't what I expected. I didn't expect Troy Fatu. I have to get the pronunciation right. Samoan gentleman, young man, shy of 6'4", 6'3", 6'3" and 7/8. Small for a tackle, perfect size for a center guard. Rated as the number one top interior offensive lineman who's played offensive tackle. Mike Tomlin and GM Omar Khan have made it clear in the press conference late last night that they won't entertain him at all as a Pittsburgh Steeler playing interior line. He's a offensive tackle here in Pittsburgh, and that's where it's going to stay, from what I understand. With that being said, you can't force a man in the right tackle if that's not his natural position, but this is the one offensive lineman in the draft that has the most flexibility when it comes to positioning. He probably can play all five positions, but can play and can play at a extremely high level is two different things. If you drafted him to be your left tackle, I can't see moving him to right tackle just to move Broderick to the left tackle. Is Broderick Jones that special? He wasn't a Rookie of the Year candidate. He wasn't a Pro Bowler as a rookie. Did a fine job at right tackle, okay job at left tackle in the short amount of time he was there. But realistically, as bad as we think he's a left tackle fit in the NFL, he might just be a really good right tackle. And Troy Fatano, I'll call him Troy for now. Troy may just be the fit at left tackle. A shorter body left tackle with a lot of strength and a great skill set. You might just have to leave it like that. Left tackle, Troy, Broderick on the right. Isaac left guard, James Daniels on the right. Still have to find a viable center. And it's 2 days to do that. And free agency still. I didn't feel good about the pick. I have nothing against Troy. I'm sure he'll be a fine Pittsburgh Steeler. And we finally have put the notion to rest that we don't have an offensive line and we don't have two good tackles at the same time. We haven't had that in quite a while since last decade, middle of last decade. We have that now. I think these two young men will develop at offensive tackle together well. Two bookends. Got two decent guards now. Not too much depth as far as backup. I guess we do now. We got Nate Herbig playing guard, any interior line position as a backup that we need for $4 million a year. And we still have Dan Moore Jr. as a solid left tackle backup at worst. Still a marginal at best offensive starter at left tackle that can't play right tackle at a high level. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to love the idea of Troy soon in the near future. I was very disappointed last night, only because the players that were still on the board day two. We still had plenty of talent on day two. You got to understand, all the talent that was still on the board, no cornerbacks have been taken at that point. Going into pick number 20. We could have had any cornerback in the country that we wanted. That didn't happen. Still can happen today. A lot of them didn't go, period. The ones that we were looking at. We could have had any pure center that we wanted. Still can. None of them went. Graham Barton went. He's not even a pure center. Any guard that we wanted. No guards went at all. in the first round. Any safety we wanted, no safeties are still going yet. Could have had Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, or any other wide receiver outside of the top 3 in the country. Didn't choose that. But when I saw the press conference with Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, Tomlin stated it was always Troy. He's always been at the top of the big board, the top of the draft board for the last 3 months, for the last 90 days since January when the process started. It was always Troy. We didn't have a choice. They didn't think he was going to fall to 20, and they weren't going to trade up either. He fell in our lap. They took him. They didn't care who else was on the board. We'll figure that out later, was their mentality. So I'm not going to second guess the experts. I'm just a fan. Don't claim to be an expert, but I know a lot. But I'm going to go with what they said. It was always Troy. We didn't have a choice. So I'm going to deal with that and respect it. This is the interesting part. They also said that Troy's been a big Troy Polamalu fan, his namesake, his whole life. A Troy Polamalu worshiper of sorts, respectfully. And his father got him into the Steelers. His whole family is a bunch of Pittsburgh Steelers fans, so he's a true Steeler already by default, which is a great thing. And he's ready to pour his blood, sweat, and tears into the organization immediately, he said. So this guy might be the perfect Steeler. 10, 12, 15 years down the line, in hindsight, we might be calling this one of the best first-round draft choices in Pittsburgh history. That's quite possible. Or he can just be pretty good or marginal for all we know. Time will tell. We will find out. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It was a solid pick. And it was a pick for need, too. We finally can say we got 2 good tackles. We can lay to rest the notion that the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have solid offensive linemen. Now we must congeal and become a solid offensive line as a unit. That's the test, and that's the test we have to pass. Moving on, we're out of the first round. I'm not going to cry over it. We got plenty of choices left. See, I got all my notes. 118 players that we scouted and interviewed over the process. Narrowed it down to the top 50 and the top 20 targets last night. Some of those top targets off the board at 20. So I went with the top 50, and I got 38 remaining. These are the names. You can see it. These are the names. I'll read them off to you. Read them all fast, and I'm going to break it down. Beanie Bishop is still out there, cornerback, West Virginia. Jackson Powers Johnson, center, Oregon, who a lot of people assume we were getting. I knew we weren't taking no center in the first round. I don't care who it is. Centers just don't go in the first round unless they got 20 or more starts under their belt in college. Ain't no 12, 8, 10 game starting centers over a 3-4 year period going to go in the first round unless they're potential Hall of Famers. And none of these guys right now on paper are. But Jackson Powers Johnson, we're heavy on him, even with the injury report and the concussions and the leg issues and the knee issues. If he fell to 51, I could see us taking him. Don't see us moving up today to get him, but if he falls on our lap, it's a no-brainer. I think they'll take him. I really want Mike Sanders still. I want him to fall to the third round. I'm not willing to risk it. I would love to just take Mike Sanders still, the top national champion and the top slot nickel corner in the whole country. And he's got age on him too and experience. A lot of takeaways, big tackles. He's perfect. He's the perfect Steeler. He probably would be the best choice in this whole draft for the Steelers. Might not be the best player in the nation, but he's the best fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers for right now what we need. And that's a slot corner. I would go with Mike Sanders still, but Jackson Powers Johnson's right there. That's a no-brainer. We like Malachi Corley. Don't think he's falling to the third anymore. Might be the early third at worst. He looks like a late second-round pick. Wide receiver, West Virginia. Adonai Mitchell's out there. A.D. Mitchell's still there. He used to be a teammate of George Pickens at Georgia before he crybabied his way out of Georgia, even though they were national champions. Went to Texas, ran into a situation at Texas where he had 3-4 other offensive stars. He still shined, but still was pouting and acting like a crybaby, like George and Deontay were acting like last year when they didn't get the ball enough. I don't think it's a good fit for Pittsburgh. It may be a freaking disaster to put Pickens and Mitchell back together again and call them that your outside starting receivers. But we have high interest in Adonai Mitchell. Pray to God we don't take him. Very talented, but I think he's going to be a problem. I don't like his attitude from what I see. I don't like it. Don't like it. Red flags all over the place with this guy. Work ethic also. Devontae Walker, I don't know if you saw the documentary story on him. His life was just something else. He's just so blessed to be in the NFL right now, about to be in the NFL. Love to take him, would not take him in the second round. Not polished enough, not experienced enough. Even though he's been around colleges for years, he had so many complete years where he didn't play any college ball. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. Make this another documentary about Devontae, a.k.a. Tez Walker, but he would be a nice pickup in the third round today, not the second. Keon Coleman, so many magazines, publications, writers have definitely, yeah, right, yeah. He might be a crackhead, brother with no passport. A Walmart model. You are funny. Nah, but really, Keon Coleman has really been linked to us in so many ways. Statistically, there's nothing really great about him. Productivity-wise, it's like productivity-wise, I just don't feel he's it. I don't feel productivity-wise he's giving us what we want, but he might be a solid wide receiver within a grouping of wide receivers that we have. But we have a lot of guys like him already. He is a dog. I take nothing from him. Florida State University. Hard worker. Not a second round or first round talent at all to me. He's more like a third round talent to me. Would be upset if we took him in a second over some better talent at that position and other positions, but I'd settle for it. As I said, the coach and GM know better than me. He's another option. Troy Franklin would be a great option for a mid-second round pick, wide receiver, Oregon. Love to have Troy Franklin here. Doesn't strike me as the toughest wide receiver, but he'll get the job done. I think as a rookie, he's a definite 5 touchdown or more rookie with 50 catches. He might be solid on the outside. Not a better player than Pickens, but comparable. I'd like to see him slip to the third and get him there, but he's definitely a second round pick. Zach Frazier. Everyone wants Zach Frazier. We need a center. If it's not going to be Jackson Powers Johnson, I'm satisfied with Zach Frazier. Because he won't be there the third. We all know that. And he should fall in our lap at 51. West Virginia center, Zach Frazier. Van Pran Granger. Interesting. Probably won't be a second round pick, but I'll reach for him a second if we really feel like we want to fill a position of center. He's the only true pure center in the whole draft. 3 straight years of starting center for a powerhouse, 2-time champion, national champion, Georgia Bulldogs. Cedric Van Pran Granger would be a perfect pick today for the Steelers. Hopefully in the mid-third. But if we had to take him in the second, if Jackson Powers Johnson and Zach Frazier are already going with the 51st pick, I would not mind taking Cedric Van Pran Granger at 51 out of need. It's still a reach in the second round, but I'd take him and be happy with it for the next 4 years at least. That'd be a nice solid line already with one of those 3, especially if it's him in the third round. We can address some other needs in the second round. That would be wonderful. If not, if we just get all the needs that we need and have a splash draft the first 2 days, come back tomorrow and get Bo Limmer, Arkansas, pure center, or Hunter Norzad from my favorite team, Penn State Nittany Lion. Hunter Norzad will be a decent starting center. May not be a day one starting center, maybe, but he'll be a decent Pittsburgh Steeler. We already like him, familiar with him. He's close by. Hunter Norzad will be really good in the 6th round. Bo Limmer in the 4th or 6th round at center. So that pretty much talks about the centers. The only defensive end we're really looking at is Austin Booker, University of Kansas. DE that might be able to be moved inside as a defensive tackle or a stand-up edge rusher at times, just a backup. Third round, possibly, I can see him more in the fourth or sixth round. Edgerrin Cooper is a very big possibility of a man we can get an inside linebacker who is a dog. Texas A&M, we've been drafting from there for the last few years. Don't mean we did well with that. Last inside linebacker, Buddy Johnson, was a complete, can't call man a bust if he's in the fourth round. He was a mistake. Not a good football player on the NFL level. Bad choice. Got Dan Moore. He was very serviceable and admirable, but he wasn't good. We got them both in the fourth round. Texas A&M a few years back, 3 years back. Wasn't a good choice. 4 years back? Yeah. Was not a good choice. The pandemic year. We were just reaching for straws. But, you know, we could go back to the Texas A&M thing. We got a dog here. He will not be a disappointment or a bust. Edgerrin Cooper, inside linebacker, Texas A&M. Jeremiah Trotter, the Bloodline, Jr. Jeremiah Trotter, Jr., Clemson. Easily a solid second-round pick. Don't think he'll make it to the third. He could make it to the third. If he went to the third, I'd grab him there. Don't know if I grab an inside linebacker second round and just is going to sit the bench behind three solid inside linebackers we already have. The rotation of Cole Holcomb when he comes back healthy. Our new star, Patrick Queen, who was the highest paid Steeler ever in free agency, coming from another team to us. And Atlanta Roberts, who we love, we just picked up in free agency last year, will be the other starter next to Queen. I would not want to take a guy who's potentially a fourth inside linebacker. We also got Mark Robinson, special teams at best. A five-man inside linebacker rotation. I hate to take a second rounder who's possibly not going to play much. Take time to develop. But we could get him. We might have plans of moving on from some of these guys and going with him in 2025 as a starter. So we got Edgerrin Cooper as a possibility, someone we were highly touting and highly recruiting and scouting. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., like I said, Junior Colson, Michigan, solid inside linebacker, experienced national champion, a captain. I can see us taking him with the third round pick, not the second. That's a reach at second. Third round pick, hopefully fourth. Fourth would be even better. Day 3. Junior Colson's there. Tommy Eichenberg fell down on everyone's board. If he came out a year earlier, he'd be a second round pick. Injury problems in college, but it was a hell of a leader. Not very athletic, but a very sound player who makes a whole lot of tackles. Be a nice rotational piece, a nice backup, maybe a future starter 3-4 years down the line. Ohio State boy. I won't call him a boy, he's a grown man. Ohio State man. Love to see him go in the fourth round. Really slip to the sixth. That would be really a steal. Third round is possible if we really like him that much. I don't know how much they like him. Javon Solomon, potential late third to early sixth round pick. University of Troy. Had like 16 tackles and a bunch of quarterback hurries last year. He's a poor man's Alex Highsmith. Be a great backup piece on, behind T.J. Watt, while Nick Herbig is Slick Nick is backing up Alex Highsmith. That would shore out the room at outside linebacker, edge rusher. Defensive tackle, we like Rook Ororo. I hate to try to pronounce his name, but I have to respect the man's name. Clemson defensive tackle Rook Ororo is his name. I pronounced it right that time. Solid defensive tackle will be a great late third round pick. Braden Fisk, who knows where he goes? If he's there and you like him that much, just draft him. He was like a combine freak. Great pro day. Didn't have big numbers at Florida State, but did big things in big times. So he might be a big reach second round. He could be a complete bust in the second round. Third or fourth round is probably a better spot for him. But if you grab him, you got a guy who's a rotational piece that you can work on, who might be a future star down the line later on in his career. it might be advantageous to take a risk on Braden Fisk, but I don't think in the second round. Let that man fall to third or fourth. If he's still there and we got the needs that we need, take him. We are high on Christian Boyd. I didn't know we need a defensive tackle this bad. He can easily go in the third round. I hope he be more of a fourth round pick. Northern Iowa, smaller school, but he's a beast as far as a run stopper, and he'd be probably a great fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers, to be quite honest. Jordan Jefferson is completely a last round, a sixth round pick at the best. LSU, just a rotational piece, potential third string nose tackle for us behind the two that we already have, like Keanu Benton, Montravius Adams. He might be a good rotational nose tackle piece that'd be a future, just a future player that can get more reps by his third season. But he's a later round pick. I don't see him going today, maybe day 3. Tyler Nubin, the best safety in the draft, to me. No safeties have gone yet. We took him in the second round. I won't be mad. He won't be there in the third. He's the perfect safety in the NFL coming out in this draft. Tyler Nubin has it all. Met the young man at the combine. Nice young man, good head on his shoulders, excellent player, good athlete. Perfect safety, free or strong, don't matter. I take him as strong in Pittsburgh. Take him in the second round, I'm a happy man. You got a solid professional right there. Tyler Nubin, great player out of University of Minnesota. Safety. Got our eyes on him hard. Pause if necessary. Javon Bullard, Georgia. Safety could also be a nickel. Put him in a nickel in the 3 safety rotation. Perfect fit for Pittsburgh. Third round. Tyke Smith, third or fourth round. Another perfect fit. Another safety / inside slot corner from Georgia. You know, you could double dip and get them both, and we'll set a defensive back for the next 4 or 5 years. I still think we're bringing back Patrick Peterson on Sunday afternoon, free agency for $2 million a year, $2 million 1-year contract, just for depth at corner and safety. I think Patrick Peterson coming back for his leadership ability. Pat P got a little bit left in the tank for a little bit of money. I see him coming back. I see us signing him. We freed up $7 million with the Alex Highsmith restructured deal. I see us grabbing 2 or 3 veterans that we've already had in free agency at the end of this weekend. I really do. But in the meantime, Tyke Smith, Javon Bullard, both Georgia Bulldogs, I can see them coming here in the mid-rounds. James Williams, interesting prospect. 4th, 5th round grade. It can go late 3rd, potentially. 6'5.5", not very athletic, hard hitter. Make a good strong safety, I believe. He'd make a good strong safety 4th round. He could go late 3rd, be a solid rotational piece, future starter potentially. He'd be a project, but he's the tallest defensive back maybe in history of NFL when he comes in here. 6'5.5", James Williams might be converted to a dime backer as a rotational piece. Kalen Bullock, USC safety, good pure safety. We'd love to have him in the 3rd round. Max Melton could quite possibly be the pick at 51. He won't make it to the 3rd round for what I'm understanding. Rutgers, outside corner that can play inside if needed. Press corner that are also playing, zone coverage really well. He's Pittsburgh Steelers are high on him. He's perfect scheme fit for our defense. Max Melton from Rutgers could be the pick at 51 in the 2nd round. Cornerback, Rutgers. But the man I want in this draft the most, Mike Sainristil, Michigan. Like I said before, cornerback. Slot cornerback. He's the man. Run stopper. 6 interceptions. I believe he had 6 interceptions last season on national champion Michigan Wolverines, along with 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. Took 1 to the house. Perfect still. Even wears these colors. Yeah, I would really love to have him in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform today, this afternoon. Early this evening. Pick 51, 2nd round. Mike Sainristil, University of Michigan. Make the pick, Pittsburgh. Make the pick. He's not going to be there in the 3rd round. With that being said, First round quality corner, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alabama, did not get drafted last night. I was in shock. Kool-Aid could fall on our lap. Might even want to move up a few little pieces from 51 to 46 or 45. Don't give up too much to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. We'll finally have two shutdown young corners. Haven't had it in decades at the same time. Pittsburgh Steelers roster. I would love to have Joey Porter Jr. on one side, Kool-Aid McKinstry on the other. Shut down, going to win the Super Bowl. Get a wide receiver sometime this weekend, today or tomorrow. Get a wide receiver in free agency, a big-time wide receiver, or in the draft. After you get Kool-Aid McKinstry, let's go win the Super Bowl now with Russell Wilson. Let's do it. Kool-Aid, Mike Sanders still, we can get them both. It'd be crazy. That'll complete the defensive backfield for the rest of the decade. Excuse me. Kamari Lassiter, I don't like him. He's not a fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know how high we were on him, but we did delve into him and look into him. University of Georgia, they're going bulldog crazy. Don't like him. Don't want him. Still a possibility. Hope we don't take him. Nothing against the young man. Hometown pick, Theo Johnson, Penn State, 4th to 6th round. We really don't need another tight end, but he's solid. And he's good friends with our starting tight end. I don't know. I don't think we need another tight end. Not in the draft. We're going to get a few undrafted. We're probably going to get 2 tight ends undrafted to fill up the room in camp. But we got 4 solid tight ends right now on the roster. Do we need a 5th? We really have 5, to tell you the truth at this point. We have 5. Yeah, we've got 5. But Theo Johnson is a highly touted tight end in the 6th round that we may be looking at. We might draft him. Spencer Rattler, long shot, but if we're not going to draft a cornerback tomorrow night, Saturday night, we're going to get one undrafted. We're going to get 1, maybe 2 even for mini camp, rookie camp. We're getting a quarterback. We're getting a young quarterback. We got 3 veterans with starting experience on the roster now. We're getting a 4th one from mini camp. He may not be drafted, probably be undrafted, but Spencer Rattler is a high possibility, anywhere from 3rd to 6th round. And I think he's a really good backup quarterback. And he's spunky. I really like Spencer Rattler. Been through a lot in college with the transfers and the drama, but played his heart out at South Carolina last year. Really made Tyler Legette look like a way better wide receiver than he did before Spencer got there. He helped that man's career, if nothing else. Dylan Johnson, we don't need a running back, but I'll take him in the 6th round. Dylan Johnson, University of Washington. You see how good he did this season on a top-tier elite team that almost won a national championship. Dylan Johnson is a good 3rd down back / rotational piece in anybody's NFL team. Pittsburgh, with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in their last year of their contract. And yeah, this depth there running back, with Cordero Patterson being the 3rd back / kick returner, but he's here for 2 years and he's in his 30s. Realistically, to get like a Dylan Johnson or someone of that ilk wouldn't be a bad choice. It wouldn't be a bad choice at all. I can see it happening in the 6th round, but I don't think he'll go that far. He might be going by the 4th. But we covered him. We liked him, brought him in for a top 30 visit. Only running back we brought in for a top 30 visit. Quite possible. Wouldn't be mad if we got him, as long as we got all of our other needs taken care of first before we got him. Don't want him today, want him tomorrow if we were to get him. Ladd McConkey's still out there. Didn't go in the 1st round. I knew he wouldn't. Don't see him slipping to the 3rd. He'll go sometime today, 2nd round. We made some type of trade back or trade up scenario to get the player we want and have another 2nd round pick for some reason, or earlier 3rd round pick. I might grab Ladd McConkey and put him in the slot for the rest of his life. Excellent football player. His dad was a hard-nosed punt returner / backup wide receiver with the New York Giants. Got 2 rings back in the day with Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler. His father was an excellent football player, very gritty man, gritty player. I would like Ladd McConkey out of Georgia, 2 national championships. And he played with George Pickens. Of course, he also played with George Pickens and Adonai Mitchell. for a time at University of Georgia. With that being concerned, I would really like to have Lad McConkey, but I want other needs filled first today in the draft in the second round. But he's a very big possibility. We did show a lot of interest in him. Roman Wilson, we didn't show a lot of interest, but we did scout him lightly when we were scouting Michigan real hard. Possibility that we could take Roman Wilson today at wide receiver. Taj Washington, probably not today, but tomorrow, day 3 of the draft. Highly, we're looking at him as the slot, USC slot. Caleb Williams, second or third option at USC, the #1 player in the nation, and the #1 player drafted last night and in the NFL draft day 1. Caleb Williams really loved Taj Washington as a target. 5. He's short and he's only 175 pounds, about 5'10", average height at best. 175 pounds, light in the ass, lightweight, but very good in the red zone. Got some wheels on him. He really got some moves, man. He's like a smaller version of Deontay. He's kind of like just like Deontay Johnson with better hands. Luke McCaffrey, the namesake. Father was great. His brother's great right now in the NFL. He played for Rice. He went under the radar, but he'd be an excellent backup wide receiver, inside or out. Got height and everything. He's good on the deep ball. Got perfect hands. He's somewhat athletic, but he's not as athletic as his brother, but he's about as non-athletic as his dad, but more, as dependable as his dad. He's just like his father. He's not like his brother. He's more like his father. He'd be a nice 4th or 6th round pick. I can see him going in day 3. Love to have him. Be a nice fit here for 4 years. Jalen McMillan, day 3 pick, will not go in the 2nd round or 3rd round. Nice rotational piece as a wide receiver like he was at at Washington as the 3rd option for Michael Penix Jr. So that rounds it out. Beanie Bishop, West Virginia, had a whole lot of takeaways this year. He might be the most underrated player in the draft. I can see us take Beanie Bishop in the 6th round or even reaching for him in the 4th. Late 3rd, I doubt it if they took him in the late 3rd because he's local and they know a lot about him and they really trust him. But that's the day 2 breakdown of all the day 2 players that we're interested in that we could more than likely possibly draft. There's 38 of them. I guarantee from these 38 men, we're going to draft at least 3 of them off this list. Hopefully 4. But and some of these guys are obviously not day 2 picks, they're day 3 picks with the chance of going day 2, but these are guys that are still on our big board that we can seriously draft. And I hope it goes down the way it needs to go down. Hope everything's positive and we're happy with the picks. But like I said, I'm light-skinned you. I'm up here in Detroit, bro. I'm up here in Detroit. I cover all the drafts every year for a couple decades. I'm live. I'll be on TV and everything. This is a blog for day 2 of the Pittsburgh Steelers draft. Steeler Nation all the way. I hate that y'all had the bullpen joint on Friday night. Y'all never do that. Y'all gonna wait till I'm out of town. I'm so mad about that. I'm coming back tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. But enough of battle rap right now. I will not be able to make it, man. Keep me abreast, man. Send me some videos and footage and what have you, pictures. But yeah, as far as this, y'all, day 2, Steelers NFL draft board. We still have 38 players left on our big board that we can target into today and tomorrow. I hope we get what we need. Everything's out there. All we did is cover left tackle. We need quite a few positions. We can handle it today and tomorrow and get it done. Circle back, pick up 15 to 18 undrafted free agents that we have listed that we didn't draft. I'll give you a quick listing. I'm just going to run down the names, not the breakdowns, of the undrafted signings. These are the rounds. Guys that we have left. Here's the undrafteds that I think we will more than likely take a stab at if they didn't get drafted. Theo Johnson, tight end. George Holani, running back. MJ Devonshire, Pitt, cornerback. Daquan Hardy, Penn State, cornerback. These are guys that probably won't get drafted that will still sign The next 20 of them I got here. Maybe 15 of these 20 we're probably going to sign the next day. Theo Johnson after the draft, after day 3. Theo Johnson, George Holani, MJ Devonshire, Daquan Hardy, Matt Gonclaves, right tackle, University of Pitt, Logan Lee, defensive tackle, Darius Masall, inside linebacker, KT Levinston, tackle, Travis Glover from Georgia State, Atlanta, used to run into him downtown, long shot to get drafted, but he could make our team. We showed great interest. Austin Booker, defensive end, Kingsley Egwakon, African dude who's a center. He's a pure center, but he probably won't get drafted. He's just average at best, but he's got a lot of experience there at center. Gabe Hall, defensive tackle. Dylan Johnson, as I mentioned, and for some reason he doesn't get drafted. We can get him undrafted as a free agent signing. University of Washington. Sione Vaki, safety. Jordan Whittington, the third or fourth best option at University of Texas. A safe receiver with good hands. Eric Watts, edge. Javon Solomon, outside linebacker, 16 sacks last year. He went to Troy, so he might get slept on. Beanie Bishop, West Virginia. Miles Cole, defensive end. And this is the quarterback we'll probably pick up if he doesn't get drafted. Taulia Tagovailoa. You know his big brother Tua. This is Teo and Tua. This is Teo. This is the Maryland quarterback who's got similar skills as his older brother, but he's just not as talented. Statistics aren't that great, but he's spunky. He's someone you can teach, and he can sit on that bench as a third stringer for years to come. But yeah, these are the guys. So yeah, that sums it up, y'all. I gave you 38 men that could get drafted today and tomorrow. Hopefully today we'll get the great ones that we need to fill out this roster perfectly. And I'm out. Lightskin U, Lightskin Television. Day 2, NFL Draft, my war room. See what it is. Support. Cash App is $ Lightskin Television 3. Cash App is $ Lightskin Television 3. Hit me up, y'all. Peace.